Hey guys, it's your girl Mel coming to you real quick. Happy weekday. You guys are here because we're going to be talking about what should a business owner do when a client doesn't pay their invoice. I would really like to know. So I'm coming to you guys real quick because I just want to talk about this topic that I think a lot of business owners have a challenge with. I think it's something that we come up against a lot often than people realize. I want to point out a few things. Guys, please understand that everything in this video is from a sincere place. This is from a place not to dog anyone, so hopefully it doesn't come across that way. I don't want to offend anybody. If someone is offended, hey, I can't really fix that because you can't make everybody happy, but that is not my intent. So, but I do want to have an honest conversation about the topic because I feel it needs to be had. I think people need to understand that as a small business owner, invoices being paid is bills being paid. Okay? That's what that means. People really need to understand that as business owners, big or small, when you're running a company and you're running something that is for profit, the purpose of the profit is to take care of the business, to take care of paying employees, to take care of making sure things are done excellent. So let's move into the conversation. I want to know what your thought is and what your questions might be or what your opinions might be of what a business owner should do when a client doesn't pay their invoice. So I want to know from the client's perspective and I want to know from the business owner's perspective because I'm curious. I know what I do and I can only share what I do. So what I choose to do, one, if an invoice is not paid, for me and my calendar and my booking, if an invoice, deposit, or such like that is not made, then it lets me know that that order is not complete. So if that order is not complete, if that order is not confirmed, I'll say, then that doesn't go into my calendar as a to-do. That's not something that gets done. I know sometimes I've come across people who think that if we had a conversation, then they think they made their order. And I'll tell them, of course, in our conversation, I'll let them know, no, guys, okay, I love to do the event. I'm excited to do the event. This is what's the next step. The next step is I'm going to email you an invoice. That invoice is going to have a write-up of all the cost of what it will take in order to get what it is that you're requesting to get done. If you are in full agreement with that, there will be a contract underneath the invoice letting you know what you are agreeing to and what your deposit/payment will confirm. Okay? Once that's done and it's actually completed, then we can move forward. I like to give people 24, possibly 48 hours, the longest for the most part, when it comes to a client completing their invoice. A lot of times a client will say, listen, I want to book you, but I won't be able to complete the invoice until this Friday. So for the most part, I give a client room and say, okay, not a problem. I'll hold the date until then, which is why I only give a client 24 to 48 hours because a lot can happen in 24 to 48 hours for the kind of business that I run. I've been running my business now for almost 11 years. This June will be 11 years. And I learned a lot. And in me learning, I learned that the tone that I've set, thankfully, I had enough sense when I started my company almost 11 years ago. I had enough sense to set the tone with the clients that I interact with or even the companies that I interact with, that this is how the system works for me. This is the company's policy, this is the company's system. So all that being said and done, I don't have too many challenges, but every now and again, I get a client who will tell me I'll be able to pay the invoice today or I'll be able to pay the invoice by tomorrow. Fine, not a problem. The invoice is emailed to you. Once you receive it, you confirm that you receive it. Usually people confirm that they receive it by paying it. But if they don't, then after 24 hours, if I don't hear anything back, I'll do a quick little follow-up. And if I don't hear anything back by the end of that business day, then that invoice in the Brownie Factory's book is now null and void. So I really want to know what you guys think. I want to know how you think business owners should handle those things. I hope that the client understands that in running a business, just like in going to a 9 to 5, there is an expectation of what needs to get done, and then there is compensation for that thing that needs to be done. In a business setup, when you own the business, there are funds that need to come in to confirm, so that as a business owner, you're basically not running around in circles because somebody said, oh yeah, I'll take care of it. Or in my case, as a pastry chef, you don't want to be in a situation where you bake all this product for someone who says they want it, or prepare to do a cake tasting and they don't show up. And you done did all this work that now sometimes goes to waste. Sometimes as a business owner, we've learned to be creative and flip that and say, okay, we gotta make something else happen. But a lot of times it causes more stress on the business owner. And as a small business owner, I would think that when you're a small business owner, a good business owner, and you're in communities that need small business owners to provide quality product, excellent service, you want to support that, right? Like you want to support that, and you want more of it in your neighborhoods, right? So I want to know, how do you think that should be handled? Because a lot of times business owners, I find sometimes they don't want to stay in their communities. They rather go outside of their communities because they want to go where they're appreciated, which I don't think is anything wrong with. But sometimes when you have business owners who want to supply their communities